This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 25th day of March in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali today announced the extension of the National Healthcare Initiative for another 5 years. The move is being done in collaboration with the Mount Sinai Health System and the Hess Corporation. Mount Sinai is an internationally recognized healthcare provider. Noting that significant improvements in the quality of healthcare and access to healthcare are already being realized through the first phase, the president explained that the second phase will see assistance in developing high-quality primary care, specialized services in cardiology and oncology, and improvements to the Georgetown Public Hospital and the regional hospitals. This work will be funded jointly by the Hess Corporation and the government of Guyana.
Today, we're extending this groundbreaking initiative for another 5 years. We are doubling down on that commitment because transformation is not a one-time event. It is a sustained effort, and your government is committed to seeing this through to the end.
The president lauded the partnership with Mount Sinai and said it is helping the country build the right systems. He said the initiative has seen the boosting of human resource capacity in the health sector and has also increased comprehensive health screening for children and the elderly.
By 2030, Guyana's healthcare system will stand as a model of excellence in the Caribbean and beyond. From the coastland to the hinterland, quality healthcare will be every Guyanese birthright. Our healthcare system will become the gold standard for healthcare services globally.
In addition, the partnership will also see the development of electronic medical records for Guyana's healthcare system. The goal, the president said, is to improve patient care and safety and to make it easier for patients to access their health information.
And in the next 7 months, you will have, for the Georgetown Hospital for sure, and all the other regional hospitals, including West Dem, Linden, New Amsterdam, Lethem, and all the new regional hospitals under construction. In 7 months, we'll have the electronic mobile app through which patients can schedule their appointment at these hospitals. Health updates will be on your mobile phone, and your reminder, your medical reminder on your medication will be available on your medical phone, on your mobile phones. In 7 months, we'll deliver that to the people of Guyana.
Meanwhile, Mount Sinai's executive director for the Guyana Initiative, Dr. Rachel Friedman, said the transformation of the partnership is already evident in the healthcare system through various changes and policy implementation.
Because of the strength of this partnership between the government of Guyana, the Hess Corporation, and Mount Sinai, we are already witnessing a transformation in the healthcare system here in Guyana that I would dare to say the world has not seen before. And today I am so proud to be able to reaffirm Mount Sinai's commitment to this mission as we extend our collaboration together through 2030.
And the CEO of the Hess Corporation, Mr. John Hess, stated that access to affordable and high-quality healthcare is central to Guyana's vision for long-term shared prosperity. He said his company is proud to partner with the governments of Guyana and Mount Sinai to realize the country's health needs. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith. One day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Citizens, please be reminded that the Ministry of Housing and Water does not sell land or housing units through any third-party arrangements or accept payments through any mobile money platforms. All our allocations are done at our Brickdam Georgetown Main office, any of our regional offices, or at any scheduled Dream Realized event. A message from the Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
The 2020 election fraud trial continued today with American Chamber of Commerce Guyana observer Rasul telling the court that observers and agents of the People's Progressive Party Civic and a number of the small parties were at the center of the chaos that unfolded during the tabulation of the Region 4 statements of poll and had set out to give directives to a number of the election officials on the ground. At the time, Rasul was being cross-examined by defense attorney Ronald Daniels at the Georgia Magistrates Court before acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magasti. According to Rasul, the chaos unfolded between the 4th of March 2020 and the 13th of March 2020, while the Region 4 statements of poll were being tabulated for the most part at the Guyana Elections Commission Tabulation Center within the Ashman's building. According to Rasul, chaos started on the night of the 4th of March when there was a dispute over the number of SOPs left to be verified. She said it was a very chaotic day. The PP Civic agents were contending that there were 100 SOPs left to be verified at the time, while the election officers had suggested that there were only 3 left to be verified. In Rasul's opinion, however, there were some 59 SOPs to be verified. Rasul said the observer for the Guyana Bar Association, Tenny Husty, had provided a legal opinion on the process of verifying the SOPs, while another observer suggested to the Elections Commission officials on the ground that the process of verification be halted. In her written statement, the AmCham observer did not indicate that agents of the then governing APNU-AFC coalition were present. However, while on the cross-examination, she told the court that some coalition agents were indeed present. She admitted that nothing prevented her from including the presence of other agents in her statement, or that they were involved in the chaos. The court also heard that the agents of the PPP Civic and several of the small parties fiercely protested the decision of the then Deputy Chief Election Officer Roxanne Myers that the tabulation process would recommence using SOPs from the East Bank Sub-District. Adding their voice to the protest were also observers from the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, the Private Sector Commission, and the Guyana Bar Association, the court heard. Rasul told the court that the decision by the Elections Commission to use spreadsheets as opposed to the SOPs also resulted in another dispute, with the party agents protesting the decision in a loud and chaotic manner, she said. She said the agents from the PPP Civic were the loudest. As Attorney Ronald Daniels continued his cross-examination of Rosalinda Rasul, he sought to bring her credibility and impartiality into question as an observer. He inquired whether aspects of her statements were petty, to which Rasul responded in the negative. In one of the scenarios put to Rasul, Daniels pointed out that on the 12th of March 2020, following a ruling by the High Court, the Elections Commission was scheduled to restart the tabulation process at 11. Rasul in her statement said she reported to the command center at 8:30, but was not allowed in until 10 o'clock that morning. But Daniels pointed out that Rasul was allowed to enter the premises 1 hour before the starting time. He then inquired whether Rasul was being petty for complaining about not being granted access initially. On the issue of directives, Rasul admitted that agents from the PPP Civic, including the then leader of the opposition, Barra Jagdeo, had given directives to the election officers, including the chief election officer, Keith Lowenfield, on the ground. However, in her statement, Rasul did not use the word directives. Rather, she stated that Jagdeo told the CEO, for example, to resort to the SOPs. Rasul said it was not until the 13th of March that there was an intervention by the APNU AFC agent Carol Smith Joseph, in which she directed the Region 4 returning officer, Clement Mingo, to continue with the process. Attorney Daniel submitted and Rasul agreed to the tone and language used to describe the actions of the PP Civic agents and that of the APNU AFC agent was vastly different, with the softer language used to describe the actions of the agents from the PPP. Daniel submitted to the court that Rasul has not been impartial in her accounts of the events that unfolded on the days that she was present. She is expected to return to the witness box tomorrow for further cross-examination. The U.S. Embassy in Georgetown has issued a warning to holders of U.S. non-immigrant visas, that's visitors visas, that they could face a permanent ban from entering the U.S. if they have been found to overstay their time. In a statement on its Facebook page today, the embassy stated that any person who overstays their U.S. visa could face a permanent ban on traveling to the U.S. Visitors to the U.S. are generally granted a duration of stay of 6 months in most circumstances. However, if they provide information about leaving the country before that period, they are expected to leave within that period. Those traveling on the B1, B2 visitors visas are prohibited from working in the U.S. during their visit. According to the embassy, consular officers have full access to the immigration history of visa holders and would know about past violations. The embassy said there is no such thing as an honest mistake, and it is the responsibility of a visa holder to use the visa correctly. The warning from the embassy comes as the U.S. government is clamping down on illegal immigration and has started massive deportations. Since the new U.S. government took office in January, a number of raids have been carried out across the United States, including in communities with large Guyanese and Caribbean populations. The U.S. government has also been clamping down on asylum seekers, with a recent memo announcing a pause on the processing of asylum seekers. Additionally, CBS News reported today that the Trump administration has quietly paused the processing of green card applications filed by certain individuals, including approved refugees and asylum seekers. CBS News reported that the move forms part of a broader effort to more aggressively vet immigrants. According to the report, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services recently directed officials to suspend the processing of requests for legal permanent residency submitted by immigrants granted refugee or asylum status.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Ready to up your game? Ready to up your game? Win big with over 60 epic prizes. A brand new PS5, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 16 Pro Max, Apple smartwatch, and the hottest earbuds from Apple and Samsung. Plus, we are giving away thousands in phone credit and a whole year supply of Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Here's how. Buy any Buster or Turbo Energy drink, find the code starting with BB and enter online or on WhatsApp. Visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Turbo_Caribbean or Buster Guyana for all the details. Don't just play. Up your game with Buster and Turbo Energy.
Guyana has made a call for there to be a reformed and adaptable United Nations peace operations architecture, citing increased conflicts globally. At the UN Security Council meeting today, Guyana's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Karen Rodriguez-Burkett, noted that the maintenance of international peace and security remains a core function of the United Nations. She said one of the main functions for the UN was to prevent future global conflicts. However, the ambassador noted that the global landscape has evolved dramatically, with conflicts becoming increasingly complex, protracted, and often driven by non-state actors, including transnational criminal networks. Ambassador Rodriguez-Burkett told the Security Council that the recent reports of UN peace operations being outmanned and outgunned with the rules of engagement is not suitable for the challenges at hand. Threat multipliers such as climate change, food insecurity, and increased demand for natural resources and the use of technology for information and disinformation further exacerbates the situation, she said.
Guyana believes that a reformed and adaptable UN peace operations architecture is crucial for maintaining international peace and security. We therefore welcome the potential new models of peacekeeping operations, which will be the focus of the upcoming Berlin Peacekeeping Ministerial Meeting. We stand ready to work with all member states to strengthen the UN peace operations and ensure their continued relevance in the face of evolving global challenges.
The permanent representative for Guyana said the conflicts currently ongoing have been causing multiplier effects. However, she said despite those challenges, the UN must continue to be the standard bearer of international best practices. To boost the UN peacekeeping operations, among other things, Ambassador Rodriguez-Burkett recommended increased partnerships, which would include deeper collaboration with regional organizations such as the African Union and CARICOM. She said partnerships must also be strengthened with countries that host UN peacekeeping missions to ensure their ownership and engagement in the peace process. Vice President Barra Jagdeo has promised a glorious second term in office should the PP Civic be re-elected at this year's elections. He told party supporters and members on Sunday at Babujan that the groundwork has already been set for transformation in every sector of the country. In a campaign-style speech, Mr. Jagdeo served a menu of promises to the youths, senior citizens, public servants, and other citizens.
That every young person can apply for and get a house lot in the next term. And in all the regions, although we have a backlog in Region 4, we'll be able to move faster in the other regions because we've already, this year, the President has given instruction to ensure that that happens. That you're going to get better paying jobs, a world-class education in the next term. The infrastructure that the President spoke of. You'll be able to drive from Molson Creek all the way to the airport on a 4-lane road. You'd have a power plant in West Coast that would cut electricity prices by 50%.
He also said the next term for the PPP will also see a more diversified economy, and that will cater more for any fallout with the oil and gas sector. Mr. Jagdeo said the government is also working out a formula for citizens to invest future cash grants to get greater returns.
The most pressing question on the minds of the people. Will there be cash grant after he wins the next elections? And the answer is yes. You did not deal with that.
He told party faithfuls gathered to recognize the work of party founder Dr. Cherry Jagan that the PPP has kept all of the promises it's made in 2020 and will do so in the next term.
Every group of Guyanese, regardless of their race, have seen that the PPP stands by its word, that our word is our bond. And when we make these promises that President Ali spoke about in the next term, you bet that they will be delivered. That we'd have the best health care in anywhere in the world, because the 12 hospitals that we're building now, we'd hire 8,000 people to make them functional right across this country, including specialists.
The Vice President also said his party will continue to empower small contractors across the Berbice region and other parts of the country, boasting that more than 10,000 jobs have been returned to Region 6 alone since 2020. An early morning fire gutted the ABC Chinese restaurant at Vredenhoop on the west coast of Demerara. The Guyana Fire Service was summoned to the scene at around 3 o'clock this morning after receiving several emergency calls. At the scene, the firemen were able to rescue one person but received reports that others might have been trapped in the building. No one else was found, and the fire service said after the fire was completely extinguished, searches of the debris were conducted, and there were no human remains or body found. The person who was rescued sustained some burns about their body and was taken to a hospital. A cause of the fire has not been determined. The investigations are ongoing tonight.
Yeah, you already know it's yours truly, Nanny Couture, the queen of zest.
If you take people, man, clap your hand, boy. If you take people, man, clap your hand, boy.
Wait, Bobby?
Hi, Granny.
You know the Nelly song?
How you mean? Plus, she coming for a creek explosion Sunday, April 20th.
Creek explosion? Which creek? And is who bringing she?
The creek by Splash Main, Aziza Akusa, and his Team Extra bringing she.
Team Extra? Let me call Freddie.
Hello, Granny.
Hi, bye.
What going on?
You bringing Nelly Couture, you didn't even put me on the show. Like you was a kunumunu or what?
Don't say fat, you're booking you now.
Galang, Granny.
Let me see the flyer. Oh, female dancing competition over 160,000 given away. Plus male dance off for one motorbike.
Music by Bobby Kush, DJ Magnum, DJ Garwin, David Hype, and Papa Feelings.
I giddy up and get your early bird tickets for $2,000 at Team Extra Stabrook Market. Just your size boutique, White Castle Fish Shop, and Fireside Sweets. Brick Explosion, compliments of Fireside and Team Extra.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. GuyOil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of GuyOil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. GuyOil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. The Brazilian government on Tuesday confirmed the Japanese mission will visit the South American country to inspect its slaughterhouses, it said in a statement. Reuters in a report said after a meeting involving the agriculture ministers of both countries, Brazil said, and I quote, "This step is essential for opening the Japanese market to Brazilian beef," end of quote, and for expanding access to Brazilian pork exports into Japan. The statement did not say when the mission will arrive in Brazil. According to the statement, the ministers of both countries also signed a letter of intent aimed at strengthening cooperation in the recovery of degraded pastures in Brazil, the world's biggest beef exporter. Brazil also said Japan's agriculture minister confirmed the approval of the regionalization of the International Health Certificate CSI for avian influenza by municipality. This means that any export restrictions on chicken and egg products are limited to municipalities where outbreaks of avian influenza are detected and no longer entire states. Brazil has never had a case of avian influenza on commercial flocks. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose tariffs of 25% on U.S. imports from countries that purchase oil from Venezuela, according to the BBC. Trump described the move as a secondary tariff aimed at punishing the Latin American country for numerous reasons, including allegedly purposefully sending gang members to the U.S. Separately, Trump suggested he was softening his plans for tariffs on imports from other countries, saying he may give a lot of countries breaks. Trump has previously said he was looking to impose reciprocal tariffs on countries around the world, outlining plans for a system where, and I quote, "They charge us, we charge them," end of quote. But on Monday, he suggested the White House might be nicer than that when it came to the new tariff rates. And finally tonight, international news. Prime Minister Mark Carney on Tuesday promised an unprecedented acceleration of investment in Canada's armed forces if his ruling Liberal Party wins a general election on April 28. U.S. President Donald Trump, who is threatening to impose tariffs on Canada and often muses about annexing the country, complains that Ottawa does not spend enough on defense. Carney said Canada faces the greatest threats in generations. He said the world is becoming more divided and dangerous, and his plan will help ensure that Canada is strong at home and strong abroad. Carney, who did not give precise details of how much his government would spend, also said that Canada would buy new submarines and heavy icebreakers and modernize an outdated and inefficient military procurement system. Ottawa, which regularly fails to meet recruitment goals, would overhaul the process of attracting new members of the military and would give all serving members a raise in pay, Carney said, but gave no details. Canada, pressured by successive U.S. administrations to increase defense spending, last year pledged billions more for the armed forces and said military expenditures would be closer to the NATO target by 2030. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.